From the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains in beautiful Colorado, it is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020, and this is Truly News. I am your host, Jason Van Sickle. We are halfway through the week, and I hope that your week is going well. As we begin this new day, let's focus on increasing your knowledge and expanding your insights with a review of today's news. As always, we start with a look at the top headlines from across the country. Our first headline is from the New York Times. McConnell moves to head off stimulus deal as Pelosi reports progress. Senator Mitch McConnell privately told Republican senators that he had warned the White House not to strike a pre-election deal with Speaker Nancy Pelosi. His remarks threw cold water on President Trump's increasingly urgent push to enact a new round of pandemic aid before the election. Our next headline is from National Public Radio. The Justice Department says in a lawsuit that Google abuses its monopoly power over search. The Justice Department filed an antitrust lawsuit Tuesday against Google, alleging the company of abusing its dominance over smaller rivals by operating like an illegal monopoly. The action represents the federal government's most significant legal efforts in more than 2 decades to confront a technology giant's power. Justice Department lawyers accuse Google of harnessing its internet gatekeeper role to enrich the company's vast business empire. It claims that Google stifled competitors and hurt consumers through exclusionary agreements like the one that it made with Apple, making Google the default search engine on iPhones. And finally, in our look at the top headlines, here are the stories that are crossing the wire at Reuters News. First from Reuters, former U.S. President Barack Obama will make his first appearance on the campaign trail on Wednesday for Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Also from Reuters, the moderator for the final debate between Trump and Biden will be able to press a mute button, allowing each candidate to speak uninterrupted to avoid the chaos of their first televised face-off. Trump says he will participate, but he insists the new rule is unfair. And our final headline from Reuters, the criteria for allowing emergency use of a COVID-19 vaccine and plans to monitor its safety once it goes into use are among the topics to be discussed at a closely watched meeting of the Food and Drug Administration scheduled for tomorrow. And those are your top headlines for today. Now we need to take a moment to mention today's sponsor. And with that information is our announcer, Ron Johnson.
Today's program is brought to you by Baker's Man International and its new product, Patty Cakes. Are you tired of your bathroom smelling like a gas station restroom? Then try Patty Cakes, the amazing new toilet tablets that disinfect your toilet bowl while making your bathroom smell amazing. Place one dissolvable tablet in your tank, and for months your bathroom will smell like you just cooked your favorite meal. Choose from scents like spicy meatloaf, sizzling fajitas, and the newest scent, Thanksgiving dinner. Whatever your choice, the Patty Cakes by Baker's Man will make your bathroom smell delicious. Thank you to Baker's Man International for today's sponsorship.
Thank you, Ron. And now we return to the news. In Social Issues and Trends, our first article is from the Pew Research Center, and it is about the changing racial and ethnic composition of the U.S. electorate. In all 50 states, the share of non-Hispanic white eligible voters declined between 2000 and 2018, with 10 states experiencing double-digit drops in the share of white eligible voters. During that same period, Hispanic voters have come to make up increasingly larger shares of the electorate in every state. These gains are particularly large in the southwestern U.S., where states like Nevada, California, and Texas have seen rapid growth in the Hispanic electorate. These trends are also particularly notable in battleground states such as Florida and Arizona. In Florida, 20% of eligible voters are Hispanic. That is nearly double the amount from 10 years ago. And in Arizona, Hispanic adults make up 24% of all eligible voters. That is a 4% increase from 10 years ago. And in other news involving social issues and trends, an article from the Gallup Polling and News Agency. At 54%, a record low number of Americans now consider the death penalty to be morally acceptable, marking a 6% decrease since last year. This finding from Gallup's Values and Beliefs poll is in line with polling last fall that showed decreased public support for the death penalty. And that is your update on social issues and trends. In Earth and environmental news, our first article is from Reuters. World Wildlife Fund drones drop seeds for koala gum trees in Australia. Specialized drones are being tested in a program to boost koala numbers in Australia. The drones will drop gum tree seeds in an effort to regrow the plants after much of the bushland was torched in the country's historic brushfires earlier this year. Gum tree leaves are koalas' main food source. The recent fires destroyed or damaged up to 7 billion trees across 37 million acres. And in other earth and environmental news, from Science X News Service. Study finds tropical cyclones moving faster in recent decades. About 40% of the U.S. population lives in a coastal area that is potentially affected by hurricanes. And in a new study published in Environmental Research Letters, tropical cyclones, also known as hurricanes or typhoons, have been moving across the oceans faster since 1982. The study also determined the North Atlantic, the part of the ocean on the east coast of the United States, has experienced an increase in frequency of hurricanes during that period. And that is your Earth and environmental news for today. We now take a break from the news to present our Top 5 Joke Countdown. As usual, bringing us the countdown is my friend Billy Cunningham. Billy is a comedian that goes by the stage name Potbelly. And here's Billy.
Thank you, Jason. From my studio here in Sweetwater, Appalachia, this is Billy Potbelly Cunningham. And joining me as always is my intern and assistant Penny. By the way, for those of you who live in Jasper, Arkansas, on October 26th, I will be at the Costco signing copies of my new cookbook, Crisco, a Microwave, and a Whole Lot of Fun, How to Fry Food in Your Microwave. I will also be doing food demonstrations and presenting selected readings from Chapter 1. That chapter is called Microwave Frying. Oh yeah, a definite fire hazard. Hope to see you there. Now, on to our jokes. Penny is handing me the cards with today's jokes, which come from Reader's Digest. Some of the jokes have been rewritten to make them even funnier. And today's category is customer service jokes. Ooh, baby. Here we go. Number 5. I recently called City Hall to ask about voting by ballot. The call was answered by a recording that started by saying, "For English, press 1. If you do not understand English, press 2. By the way, we recently got a new sound effects machine for the studio here, and we're going to give it a try today. Have you learned how to use it yet, Penny? You think so? Okay. Well, this ought to be fun. What kind of sound effect would you give that last joke? Okay, that's all right. See what else you can find. Maybe something funnier. Number 4. I was at the customer service desk returning a pair of jeans that was too tight. Was anything wrong with them? The clerk asked. Yes, I said. They hurt my feelings. Oh, Penny, what the heck was that? This is a family-friendly show. It wasn't an accident, whatever. You chose that one on purpose. Just choose more carefully next time. Jeez. Number 3. My friend and I were at the diner this week and I ordered a BLT. When the food came, there was no bacon on my sandwich. Hey, miss, I hollered to the waitress. There's no bacon on my sandwich. You didn't order bacon, she said. Yes, I did. I ordered a BLT. Exactly, she said, looking annoyed. You got the BLT. Bread, lettuce, and tomato. What? That doesn't fit that joke at all. You really need to learn how to do sound effects. Let's try again. Number 2. My brother-in-law and I were at the coffee shop yesterday. After ordering his coffee, the barista asked his name. My brother-in-law replied, Mark with a C. Minutes later, another barista yelled out, Coffee for Clark!
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
Come on! That wasn't one of the sound effects. You're messing with me now, aren't you? Anyway, it doesn't matter because we've reached the end of our jokes. And our number 1 customer service joke of the day. My wife and I went to the casino buffet this weekend. When we got there, I ran to the bathroom while she got the table. When the waitress arrived, my wife asked her to tell the hostess to watch out for me, saying, He's got gray hair, wears glasses, and has a potbelly. Stopping my wife, the waitress replied, Honey, this is senior day. They all look like that. Oh, ouch. That hurts my feelings. Oh, stop it, Penny. Gosh. Well, those are your jokes for today. I'm glad we had a little time together this morning, and I look forward to our time together tomorrow. In the meantime, be kind to others, be good to yourself, and keep on smiling. This is Billy Potbelly Cunningham signing off. Over and out.
There you have it, folks. Billy and his top 5 countdown. Thanks, Billy. It is now time for our review of the news from the world of science and technology. Our first article is from Science Daily. Scientists have created an all-terrain microbot that can navigate through the body's colon. A rectangular robot as tiny as a few human hairs has been created that can travel throughout a colon using a movement that involves flipping over and over. Engineers at Purdue University have now demonstrated the technology in live animals. Flipping is used as a mode of transportation because of the rough terrain found inside colons and other organs. Since it is too small to carry a battery, the micro-robot is powered and controlled by a magnetic field transmitted from outside of the body. The purpose of the robot is to deliver drug treatments directly to things like cancerous tumors. That is important because direct treatment delivery would keep the drugs out of the rest of the body, which would eliminate side effects like hair loss and internal bleeding. The study, published in the journal Micromachines, is the first to demonstrate this type of technology. Also, in science and technology news, from CNET, Apple launches free 24-hour video live stream. Yesterday, Apple launched Apple Music TV, a free 24-hour live stream of music videos, live shows, and other music events. It can be found on the Apple Music app or the Apple TV app. The live stream started with a countdown of the top 100 most streamed songs on Apple Music. On Thursday, it will present all Bruce Springsteen to celebrate the Boss's upcoming album, Letter to You. And those are your science and technology headlines for today. In space travel and exploration news from CNN, NASA mission will touch down on asteroid Bennu today. After orbiting the asteroid Bennu 200 million miles from Earth for nearly 2 years, NASA's unmanned spacecraft OSIRIS-REx is ready to descend to the asteroid's surface, where it will reach out its robotic arm and attempt to collect a sample. That maneuver will happen later today. That sample, if successfully collected, will be returned to Earth by OSIRIS-REx in 2023 after a long journey home. Also in space travel and exploration news, from CNET, SpaceX will launch its next batch of Starlink satellites today. Elon Musk's rocket company SpaceX is preparing to launch more of its Starlink broadband satellites into orbit, the satellites that will make up a new space-based global internet service. The company sent its 14th batch of satellites to orbit from Cape Canaveral in Florida on Sunday. Another set of 60 or so satellites is scheduled to launch from there this afternoon. And that is your space travel and exploration news for today. Now it is time for our words of wisdom and encouragement. To present this segment is Dr. Albert Feinstein, my philosophy professor from college. And here is Dr. Feinstein.
Thank you, Mr. Van Sickle. Hello, and welcome to today's Words of Wisdom and Encouragement. Today's words are from the Dalai Lama, who said, "The goal is not to be better than other people, it is to be better than your previous self." That is a statement that can empower us in many ways. First, if you measure yourself against other people, then your value of yourself is external. It is based on something that you cannot control, and it is most likely based on insecurity and a need to want to fit in or compete with other people. That is not healthy. What we should strive for is to feel comfortable with ourselves and have an internal measure of success. This brings up this second point, that positive growth and personal evolution comes from self-analysis, self-awareness, and a focus on personal growth. Make your evaluation of yourself an internal one, and then you will be liberated from the control of others and on a path that you control, a path that leads to self-improvement. And those are your words of wisdom and encouragement for today. Until next time, keep seeking wisdom and believing in your incredible potential. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein. We appreciate your words of wisdom and encouragement. Now, we return to our review of the day's news. In entertainment news, we start with new movies, and today's movie was recommended by my friend Karen, who is a supporter and regular listener of Truly News. Karen recommended that we check out the documentary Long Shot. And here is the description from IMDb. When Juan Catlon is arrested for a murder he insists he didn't commit, little did he know that the outcome may hinge on raw video footage shot for Larry David's TV show Curb Your Enthusiasm. Long Shot is now showing on Netflix. And thank you to Karen for this great recommendation.
By the way, if you have any recommendations for our entertainment section or other content ideas, then feel free to email us. Our email address is feedback@trulynews.org. We also welcome any comments that you have about the show. Both positive and critical feedback help us to constantly improve this podcast. Moving on, we look at newly released shows, and today's show is The Vow. This series is a documentary, and here is the description from Google. This documentary follows the experiences of people deeply involved in the self-improvement group NXIVM, an organization under siege with charges including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. Episodes of The Vow are now showing on HBO Max. Finally, in our entertainment news, we take a look at newly published books. And our book today is The 99% Invisible City by Roman Mars and Kurt Kohlstedt. This book is presently number 3 on the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list. Here is a summary from Amazon.com. This book is about the 99% Invisible radio show and podcast, and the interesting things that it explains. Have you ever wondered what those bright, squiggly graffiti marks on the sidewalk mean? Or stopped to consider why you don't see metal fire escapes on new buildings? Or pondered the story behind those dancing inflatable figures at car dealerships? Well, 99% Invisible is a show about these seemingly small things which reveal stories about the buildings we inhabit, the streets we drive, and the sidewalks we traverse. The show celebrates design and architecture in all of its functional glory and accidental absurdity, with intriguing tales of both designers and the people impacted by their designs. 99% Invisible is now available in print at your local bookstore, and it is also available in print, Kindle, and audiobook formats on Amazon. And that concludes our entertainment news for the day. In health news from Science Daily, volunteerism, doing good, does you good. A new study takes a closer look at the benefits of volunteering to our health and well-being. Overall, those who volunteer for at least 100 hours a year, about 2 hours a week, have a substantially reduced risk of developing physical problems, and they tend to have a higher level of physical activity with an improved sense of well-being. Also in health news from Harvard Health, easy ways to fight pandemic-era inactivity. For many people, the effects of the pandemic include less physical activity, but long periods of sitting are bad for health. They're associated with increased risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, and metabolic problems. Too much sitting is even linked with early death. The good news? Staying active throughout the day helps reverse the effects of too much sitting, and it doesn't take much effort. As Dr. Beth Freites, Director of Wellness for the Stroke Research and Recovery Institute at Harvard, explains, you simply need to take a few minutes, quote, 2, 5, or even 10, unquote, every hour to get up and get your body moving. And that is your health news for the day. As always, we end our broadcast with a look at what we call happy news. And here is your happy news story for the day. From Manatee County, Florida, and Spectrum 9 News, the headline, Making Sure Everyone Has Access to Health Care. James McLeod is making sure low-income people in the Bay Area are getting the medical coverage they need. McLeod is a founder of Genesis Health Services, an organization serving low-income medical and dental patients in Manatee and Sarasota counties. McLeod's company specializes in offering dental and medical aid to those who are working but earn too much to qualify for government programs and not enough to afford medical and dental care. While not a doctor or medical professional himself, his late mother Josephine was the first African-American ER nurse at Manatee Memorial Hospital. When asked why he works so hard to help low-income people get access to health care, he gives credit to his mom as an inspiration, and he says, helping people is, quote,
why I was born, unquote. And that is your news for October 21st, 2020. Have a wonderful day.